What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play with CJ. Today we're going to focus in on quirky traditions in non-traditional hockey markets. Now, as someone who was born and raised in a traditional hockey market, Boston, I think it's easy to look down on the teams like Nashville, the Panthers, the Lightning, and the LA Kings, places like that are warm weather, hot honky tonk places. One or the other. Tampa's case, both of them. That we up north, we're all, business when it comes to hockey, and, they try to make their own personal spin on it. I think it's kind of like the Jason Aldean song, Fly Over States. Aldean's obviously one of my favorite musicians, where I can actually tell you this is true. Where I've been on a plane coming to Florida, flying over, Atlanta, Georgia or North Carolina, South Carolina, and just looking down and going, it must suck to live down there. And then you think about it for a second, those people down there are just as cool as you and me, and I think it's so easy to look down on them, being from media hubs. But going a step further, Nashville, the Predators have their own tradition with throwing the catfish on the ice as kind of a mockery of Detroit, who's their obviously division rival. To which Chris Chelios called it hockey tonk. The fact that Chris Chelios come up with something even a little bit quirky is miraculous, considering Chelios wasn't exactly a brain surgeon. He's not dead yet. Isn't exactly a brain surgeon. Excuse me. Then the other night you look at the Florida Panthers winning that first playoff game since 1997, throwing their the plastic rats on the ice. That's one of my favorite traditions because back in '95, the season they won on the Cup run, the '96 finals, Scott at the old Miami Arena. They weren't even in Sunrise, Florida. Yeah, they were in Miami. Sunrise outside Fort Lauderdale for people that aren't good with Florida geography, and Fort Lauderdale's outside Miami, so it's not whatever. At the old Miami Arena, which is a rat-infested place, there was a rat wandering around the locker room. Scott Mellenby killed it with this hockey stick, and then had 2 goals that night. Hence where rat trick came from. And during the '96 Stanley Cup Finals run, they were throwing the rats on the ice, the plastic rats, after I think every Panthers' first goal. They beat the Bruins in the first round, beat Philly and Pittsburgh in reverse order, respectively, before falling to Colorado. And it was pretty cool to see that, those fans in Miami getting involved. And just a little fun fact, the last time the Florida Panthers won a playoff game, the starting quarterback for the Miami Dolphins was Dan Marino. That's how long ago it was. Obviously, the Dolphins haven't had anything worth a damn since then. But, sticking with the non-traditional markets, looking last year, going to the playoff games in Tampa against Pittsburgh, going to the beach, splashing in the water, and having some cold beverages, and then going to an NHL playoff game was a pretty surreal experience. I can remember, my whole life going to Bruins games, wrapping up and wearing, layers and layers of clothing, even games in March and April, and then I'm in shorts, a t-shirt, and a pair of sunglasses after coming out of the Gulf of Mexico to go to a playoff game. It's a pretty surreal experience that you have to really be here to appreciate and enjoy for what it's worth, and not just like a gimmicky thing. And I think last night, the LA Kings game, Kobe Bryant, David Beckham, and Will Ferrell were among all the celebrities. Now 2 out of those 3 are fellow athletes, so maybe a little bit different. And Will Ferrell supposedly has traveled with Don Cherry to Yellowknife in the Yukon, apparently. But when you look at that, you really, I think it's so quick for people in Boston and Chicago, Detroit, to label, that's just Hollywood being Hollywood. They don't appreciate it. But that's the LA thing. You go Lakers games. I think one of the coolest things with the LA Lakers is Jack Nicholson at the games courtside. Come on, that's sick. That's awesome. If the Kings can get a soft falling like that, I think I'm going stick with the Lakers, going with the Celtics Lakers rivalry. When they played in the finals in 2010, the Celtics had Mark Wahlberg sitting courtside, which is pretty sweet. But Mark Wahlberg and Ben Affleck, guys had to work their balls off and emphasize the blue-collar spirit that is the city of Boston, and that make up the core of the city of Boston. Everything that's great about Boston is blue-collar, work ethic every day. And you look at the LA side, you had the Kardashians there who never worked for shit representing the Lakers, and it's kind of like, well, I think that's kind of why a lot of my friends in Boston were pissed about all the celebrities at the Kings game, because it becomes a gimmicky thing, so to speak. But I like it. Kobe Bryant and David Beckham should be able to enjoy a hockey game. Will Ferrell, he's boys with Don Cherry, supposedly. But Snoop Dogg at the Anaheim Ducks game, come on, that's sick. That's awesome. I love Snoop, but that's what it's all about. Every market has to take hockey for what the area around it represents, and I think, with Nashville, it's more like an SEC football environment, which is awesome. Those fans are great. I think it's so easy in Boston, Detroit, Chicago. You grow up playing the game that it becomes something like that, but it becomes like a rite of passage. But for these other markets view it differently, and I think they're not wrong to view it that way, and neither are the people in the traditional markets. I think you got to appreciate the game for what it's worth, and it's an awesome game, and I think everyone should be able to enjoy it no matter where they're from, and they should be able to put their own personal, unique spin on it in different markets. So that's all I got for this piece on the Power Play with CJ on quirky traditions and non-traditional hockey markets. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the playoffs and beyond. Later, guys.